just want to start off with saying we'll be having 10 videos in this series. The reason I'm saying this is basically I was just checking the number of students that finish self-paced courses. Usually, the number in Udemy or other platforms where they give this self-paced courses, that number is actually 5%. Only 5% students finish what they started. That's why I'm mentioning this total number of videos. It will be 10 videos, and this is the first video. I would like to change this number basically. I'll be showing the progress here like this. Each time the video ends, I'll be showing the progress so that you will be also a bit motivated. But that's what I can do from my side. But you have to do one thing from your side, which is basically to promise yourself. Like, since you have started this, you might have always wanted to learn about case solving, especially for product management, right? And that's why probably you are watching this video and you wanted to know more about case solving. So just promise yourself that you will finish this video and the next 9 videos that will be coming up. Meanwhile, I'm also promising myself that whatever happens, I complete recording all of these 10 videos and I'll be uploading it on a timely basis. I'm promising that myself. This is just to keep ourselves accountable, right? So with that introduction, let's start. So I'll introduce myself once. So I'm saying this because you'll get to know why I'm saying this and the importance. Basically, I have scored a state rank of 3 in engineering entrance exam, and my all India rank in JEE Advanced was 1405. I have founded 2 startups before. I have worked as data analyst, product manager, and product head for other startups. With all this experience, I still found that there was something missing when it came to problem solving. It is actually funny because I used to love solving problems when I was preparing for these competitive exams. I considered myself as a very good problem solver, but actually, when I think back now, I was good only in technical problems. And when I made my shift to product manager, that is when I understood I'm bad at certain type of problems. I was not actually good at all type of problems. I was good at solving physics problems, maths problems, and even if it's coding problem, right? Technical problems. But when it comes to other kind of problems, I was not as good. Few things I noticed about myself was I was bad at quickly giving some answers. I didn't have a common framework that I could use or a structure that I could use to start solving problems. It's not technical problems, right? We have so many other kind of problems. There will be business problems, there will be customer support issues. So how do I think of those problems, right? How do I solve it? I didn't really have a quick answer to all of those. But yeah, I was good at some kind of problems since I come with a startup experience. I was good at some kind of problems, but I was actually bad at some other kind of problems. And this became very visible when I was thinking of case solving, case studies, right? Sometimes I'll solve it in a very good way. When I say good way, I'll have some kind of structure. Then I'll reach some conclusion. with some reason, right? But for some other cases, it won't be that like it won't happen. And I was thinking why. Uh, and actually, I went through a lot of other kind of contents. Uh, I have actually gone through 3 Udemy courses, and I have gone through probably 100+ hours of YouTube videos, but still something was missing. And the issue of few of those Udemy courses were basically it was surface level. When I say surface level, what I mean is, let's take the example of product problems. They will definitely talk about product management, what it is, and what is product strategy, how do companies come up with strategy, what are the metrics they track. They usually talk about all these, but the issue is I don't have the context. As a beginner, when I tried to switch to product management, I didn't have the context. Like, do every other company track all the metrics? Uh, can one strategy be used for another small startup? If Microsoft is using a certain strategy, can a startup use the same strategy? The answer is no. But the course didn't actually tell me that. It didn't explain like why we cannot do that, right? So after I finished those courses, I was still stuck at the same point. I had few information about what is strategy, what are the metrics. I had those information, but I didn't have that understanding of how to use those information, right? When to use those metrics? How should I use these metrics? How should I think of a product problem itself, right? So that is where I was getting stuck. And the major issue was basically lack of context. And they were using too many jargons, right? The issue with jargons is we can learn those and we can understand what it means by means when they say product strategy. But when when we come across a real problem in real life or even in interviews, we will get stuck because we know the jargon, we know what to do here, but we are not actually equipped to do that. Like, because the problem itself will be in a different context. Like, we might have actually tried to solve a strategy problem for a very big company, but that is not really applicable for a small startup. So when in real life we come across a issue in a startup, or in the interviewer is asking us, okay, how do we solve this for a 20-member team? That is where we will get stuck as beginners. So when I say beginner, people with less than 2 years of experience in product management, or less than 2 years of experience in corporate world, right? Beginners will lack that kind of an understanding, and I'm trying to solve that particular issue through this course. So I'll be trying to give you context. I'll try to give you a common pattern or common structure to solve any kind of product problem. This is what I'll be trying to do through this series of videos. To get different other examples of product cases, I have actually went through YouTube channels, YouTube videos and all, and few of them were good in terms of uh, example questions. So I got few example questions through YouTube, and it was actually helpful to practice those questions. Like, I'll try to solve it on my own, then I'll watch the explainer video, right? So it was helpful in that way, but it still didn't improve my structured thinking because I didn't have a structure. Like, for example, for any problem, we say that we shouldn't jump into solutioning, right? We all knew that. Even I knew that as a beginner. I shouldn't jump into solutioning. I should ask clarifying questions, right? Yeah, I knew that. But what kind of questions should I ask? I didn't know that. I sometimes I ask about the product itself. Sometimes I ask about the features. Sometimes I ask about the users, and that is actually the most important part of problem solving. Clarifying questions and understanding the problem itself. It is the most important part of problem solving, and I was unclear about what to ask, how to understand the problem more, how to bring a structure to the whole problem and context. I didn't know how to do that, and that part was the first part and the most important part of problem solving. Right? So I didn't have a structure around that. And even I didn't come across any YouTube content uh, which helps us to do that. So this is my attempt to solve that. So let's move ahead. So as I mentioned, this series will cover how to ask clarifying questions in a very structured way. Uh, that will be half of it, and the other half will actually cover the four most important types of product cases. When I say types of product cases, what I mean is I have come across four types of cases, which is very common in beginner level interviews. Uh, okay, I'll name those. Basically, those are uh, data and metrics problems. So the kind of root cause analysis and some other metrics problems, right? This will come under this category. Another type is product growth problems. So the interviewer will ask you to increase the engagement, user engagement, right? That is a example of product growth problem. Another type is the third type is product design, where the interviewer will ask you to design or build a product for a particular use case or a particular user, right? This is product design problem, and this type is the third type, and the fourth type is product strategy. Like the interviewer might ask you to come up with a go-to-market strategy for Swiggy. They are about to launch in Singapore, right? So that is an example of product strategy problem. These are the four major types of product cases I have come across, and uh, definitely in beginner level PM interviews, they'll ask one out of these four. Most probably it will be a data and metrics problem. We will discuss more on why that is the case, right? Why do they ask more about the metrics and maybe root cause analysis, funnel analysis, right? Why do they end up asking those kind of questions more? We'll cover that, but that is only one type of problem. So we'll cover four types of problem in the series, and by the end of the series, you will have a understanding of how to ask clarifying questions and how to understand the problem more, which is the step one of problem solving. And then you will be equipped with solving these four types of cases using this particular structure, which I was talking about, right? So that is by the end of the series, you will be hopefully equipped with these two items. So I have like gone through these two books and few YouTube channels, and I have some experience in building products, leading teams, and managing teams, and interviewing people as well, right? So from these two books and the YouTube content I have watched and my own experience, I have compiled this whole series. Basically, in this Decode and Conquer, this is actually a great book which talks about some frameworks we can use, and there will be like different types of questions. It's only one type is basically case solving, There can be other kind of questions in PM interviews. So this book actually covers all of those. But this book didn't solve that one issue for me, which was even after reading this book, I couldn't understand like how should I think of a problem in general, right? I didn't have a common structure to solve any kind of product problem. I didn't have that. Another book I have gone through is actually written by Marty Kagan, and he's a very he's a very cool guy. He doesn't talk like he doesn't use much jargon. It's very simple, written in a very simple language. But this book is more about product management itself. It's not about interviews. But I have gone through this book 2 times already, and each time I'm getting better understanding and insight. So I would really recommend this book for you guys as well. And this book didn't directly help me well, improve my interview preparation or case solving skills, but it has definitely helped me in understanding product management and a few components of that. So this is what uh, uh, actually inspired me to come up with this series of videos. I just want to, you know, uh, give the due credit as well. So let's move forward. So I talked about the context, right? Uh, the issue with some Udemy courses and YouTube videos, even after going through that, uh, I said I didn't have the context, and I have talked to a few beginners as well, aspiring PMs, and they said the same thing. There are a lot of channels where they discuss about product cases, case solving, but even after going through all of that, they like these beginners are actually getting stuck. And I think one major issue is the lack of context. So I'll give you a context about uh, product itself. So here what you see is basically a graph of product life cycle, which is a very typical product life cycle. Two people, two founders come up with some kind of idea and they go ahead to test it out in the market, right? And this is the intro stage of a startup, a company. They don't have uh, too many employees. They don't have much revenue. They are still testing out, figuring out what is the best product for their particular target user segment. They're still testing it out, and this is the intro stage. And in an intro stage, if you are joining as a product manager, you will be doing very different work from a PM working in Microsoft or Google. The reason is the company itself is its objective itself is very different from that of Microsoft, because Microsoft is a way mature company, way more mature company. They have lots of employees. They have recurring revenue itself, right? But as a startup, this particular small company does not have all those. Their objective itself is very different. Because of that, as a product manager, if you join into such a company, your work will be very, very different from that of a growth stage company or a mature stage company. So this is the context, right? An example of an intro stage company is even there is company called Lovable, right? I think they only have very uh, 15 employees or something, less than 20 employees basically. They are still, even though they have a good amount of revenue, they are still testing. They are not sure they have hit the product market fit. Like they are still testing it out. Uh, a example of growth stage company would be Zepto or Blinkit or Meesho. Right? They have understood the target user segment and they have good amount of revenue. They have good amount of employees as well. But they are not yet mature. They are still expanding. They are still growing, right? And that is after they have understood the uh, like proper target market. They have got the product market fit, right? And that's the stage they are at. So in that company, if you join as a product manager, your role will be a bit different. Your responsibilities will be different. And then there's mature stage companies, where your responsibility will be very, very less as a beginner level PM. Your scope of work will be very small. You might probably own one particular metric. Let's say in Microsoft Teams, the metric might be total number of hours per user, right? Number of hours of meeting per user. Maybe let's say that's one metric. As a product manager, you might be owning that particular metric. That's it. The scope of work might be very, very small when it comes to a mature stage company. So this context, if you understand this context and then think about the interview process and the kind of work you will be doing in any company, you can actually see that there's a lot of difference and the expectations from you will be very, very different. And the skill you require will be very, very different. So that is the context which will really help you as a beginner. And now with this context, if you go watch other videos and people talking about their experience, when people talk about product metrics, right? Then you'll understand whether the metrics is important to your company, right? If it's a very small company, probably the metrics is not that important. Like they don't even want to track because like they don't know what to track. They're still figuring out, right? So that's the context. So I just wanted to set the context and then move ahead. So one thing I didn't mention here is basically what is this red color decline? Basically, every product will actually go through the stage. Any successful product, they'll have this stage where they try to figure out. Then they figured out the market. Now they are trying to expand in the market, and that's the growth stage. And after expanding and maybe becoming number one or number two player in that market, they become mature stage company. They now have a lot of revenue, a lot of employees, and after a while, there will come a stage where the market shifts a lot. There are a lot of other players. There are a lot of innovations happening, and since you are a very big company, you couldn't innovate that much, and then there will be a decline. So a company like Google, what they do is they keep innovating and then they can extend their life cycle. Like they don't go into that decline stage, right? That's what any big company is trying to do even now. They are running around for new AI products because they don't want to go into the stage where they become irrelevant in the market. So that's why they are running behind the AI, basically to trying to extend their life cycle. So this can be, you know, this whole cycle can take 10 years. For some companies, it might be 30 years, right? For some companies, it will be just 5 years or 6 years. But the idea is there will be different phases for a particular company. So understanding this will actually help you to get the context and use the information you get in the right context. So that's why this particular part of this video is important. Let's go to the next part. So I mentioned, right, three stages of companies. So we'll talk a bit about this as well. There are three stages I mentioned here: early stage, growth stage, and corporate. Uh, this is like enterprise stage, I would say. So early stage, if you are joining as a PM, probably you are the only product manager. Probably. That also means they don't have any structure. You have to introduce a structure. You will have to do a lot of ideation. You'll have to think about the strategy as well. You'll have to execute it. Maybe you'll even have to do okay, cleaning and plumbing I just added because you'll have to do everything. Whatever is necessary for the team and the product to succeed. You'll have to do all of that as a single PM, as the only PM in the company, right? So if you think while joining a early stage startup as a product manager, if you think that your role will be about looking at dashboards, then analyzing the numbers, the metrics, right? And then sitting in a room and strategizing, that's not going to be it. You will have to talk to sales team, tech team, the founding team, founders, right? You'll have to fight with them. You might even have to code, depending on the team, right? You'll have to do everything. Like there is nothing out of scope if you are the only PM in a very early stage company. Everything is under your scope because you are the one the only one who's managing the product, right? So yeah, I don't think uh, there should be a job description for such a PM. Like practically there is no job description. Like people will still write job description for such roles and all, but in practice it never happens. You will end up doing everything, and it's your responsibility to make the product succeed, to understand which market we should try to focus, to understand the user pain points, right? You'll have to write the product requirement document, PRDs. You'll have to talk to the users. You might even have to go to their offices. You will have to sit for the sales pitch, right? Everything. So in a growth stage company, you are not the only PM. You have a team of PMs, maybe 5 PMs or 10 or 20 PMs. Now the scope of your work will reduce a bit because there are other people to uh, do this whole thing. So it's a team of product managers which make sure the product is successful, right? So your scope will be reduced. There will be a bit more structure to it. But in growth stage startups which raised a lot of fund, uh, the pace will be very high. Like you will have to run around a lot. They will still pivot their whole business, right? They might pivot. So you will have to keep ideating, keep executing, and then going back to ideation, right? You'll think that, okay, this will work. Maybe we should come up with a internal meeting tool. You will spend some time on user research, maybe 1 week, and then you will spend 2 weeks time for prototyping and testing. Then you will launch it in maybe 1 month, right? And then the second month you are getting feedback and insights from the users. Now you know that, okay, this is not working. Now you'll go back to ideation again. So this kind of work. Now the scope has reduced. You don't have to sit for the sales pitch. You might still have to write the PRD and all, but you can avoid the sales pitch. You probably don't have to talk a lot to sales team or customer success team. Uh, like it's not a necessity anymore because someone in the team is already doing that. So your scope will reduce, and there will be a bit more structure. In a very big company, you will be only one out of 100 or 200 product managers, right? They have 3,000 or 4,000 developers, and probably they have 300, 400 product managers. Mostly your job will be just executing or delivering the features. That is the kind of role. As a beginner PM, if you join a very big company, you will just execute what is being told. Like there will be business people who decide, okay, we need to move in this direction. There will be group PMs or uh, you know senior PMs who will decide, okay, for business to grow in this direction, we need this kind of features, and they'll decide that, okay, we need these kind of features in next 6 months. Now they'll give you the timeline, they'll give you the features as well, and then you just have to execute that. This is probably the kind of work you will do as a beginner level PM in a very big company. In growth stage or intro stage startup, you will have to come up with this kind of a roadmap, timeline, and you will have to decide, okay, what are the features we need to build. Okay? You will get that opportunity in smaller companies, but in big companies, as a beginner level PM, you won't be strategizing or even ideating. You will probably just execute. You'll be the delivery guy, right? So this is the practical side of product management. I wanted to share this because I didn't see people talking about this particular item, right? Uh, like there's a lot of ambiguity in terms of what is the role of a product manager, what are the responsibilities of PM, right? So I just wanted to clarify that. What I told is more or less applicable for our market right now. So yeah. Oh, yeah, I have already written some of the responsibilities. These are not, this is not an exhaustive list, okay? In early stage start, you'll have to talk to users, talk to the tech team, create a structure. Where there is no structure, you'll have to own the whole product itself, right? From talking to users, understanding the value, then talking with the design team, coming up with the UI frameworks, wireframes, uh, thinking about the user journey, and then creating a prototype, uh, doing a probably some kind of testing also, then talking to the tech team, understanding the code base or the structure, the tech stack, right? You'll have to do everything. Uh, Basically own the whole product from ideation to delivery. You'll have to manage the founders as well. When I say manage, it's basically managing the expectations of the founders, because you will probably talking to the founders as the only PM in a very early stage company. In growth stage companies, you'll have to talk to users. You probably have to talk to the tech team, follow a particular structure. They might have come up with some kind of structure. There is still flexibility, but still they have some kind of structure. You'll have to probably own a feature, not the entire product. You'll have to probably own a particular part of the product. So there will be 5 or 10 metrics related to that product and that feature. You'll have to own those metrics. You will have to improve those metrics, and you will probably have to manage the expectations of the group PM. So I think I need a pencil. Okay, group PM. Yeah. So you'll have to manage the expectations of group PM. If it's a very early stage company, you probably have to deal with the founders, right? In very big companies, you have to talk to the tech team, understand what they're building, and follow structure without failure, and probably own one metric only. That's it, not the entire feature or the whole product. You probably have to own just one metric or maybe two metrics, right? In very big companies. And the reason is there are a lot of product managers, and as a beginner level PM, you won't be getting, your scope will be very small, as I mentioned. Okay, now let's go to the next part. I have written something and I know it doesn't make sense right now, but it will. Okay, so this is basically the kind of questions, the types of cases, product cases they will ask if you're joining a very early stage startup. They might still ask these 4 types in other companies as well. But why did I write it here only? I didn't write the other 2 in these cases, right? This is growth. So why didn't I write that particular 2 types here? The only reason is they might still ask that, but in reality, you are only dealing with data and metrics and growth part of product. You probably won't design and strategize in a growth stage company. That's why I didn't write it here. These are the 2 most relevant kind of cases that will happen in real life if you join that company. But still they'll ask the design question or strategy question. So we'll definitely cover all those, but I'm just giving you the context as I mentioned. Right? In a very big company, you won't even think about growth probably. You just will optimize some metrics. You will play with the data, right? Analyze something. That is what you'll do in a very big company, mature stage. Okay. But in intro stage, in real life, you will deal with all these kind of cases, all these problems. You will actually come across these problems in an intro level company. But what we'll do in this series is we'll cover all these four types. These four types are the most common and definite questions that will come for a beginner level product manager interview. So I think, yeah, we can move ahead. But before that, I'll just quickly give you the examples as well. A data and metrics problem will look something like the engagement for your mobile app has reduced to 25% in last 3 months. Solve this. So this might be one common. This might be one question they ask. I think okay. That's an example of data and metrics problem. Now the next one is growth. So an example can be improve the engagement of the e-learning app. This can be one problem, right? So how do we solve this? A design example would be you are the PM in Google Maps. So design a feature for users to join, discover and join events. This can be a problem for product design. And strategy example can be, yeah, I mentioned that earlier, right? Something like Swiggy, create a go-to-market strategy for Swiggy if they are planning to expand to Singapore. That's an example of strategy question. So we will be discussing all of this, but most importantly, we will talk about the 3 steps of solving any kind of product problem. And this basically the first step is asking questions, clarifying questions. The second step is ideating solutions. And the third step is prioritizing those solutions. I'll repeat. Basically, the first step to solve any kind of problem is understand the problem first. And for that, you need to ask few clarifying questions. So the first 5 minutes of or 10 minutes of any interview, case solving should be spent on asking clarifying questions and understanding the problem first. Once you understand the problem, then you should think about ideating solutions. You should come up with a list of 5 or 6 solutions, right, during the interview. And in real life also, this should be the way we solve problems, right? So you should ideate solution, come up with a list of 5 or 6 solutions. And the third step is basically prioritize these solutions. Like prioritization criteria can be the impact of the solution. Let's say you have 6 solutions, right? And one solution is impacting 90% of the users, or it is impacting the business revenue a lot. Then that should be the first solution to be implemented, right? So that is the idea of prioritizing the solutions. You have a list of solutions, now you prioritize it. So these are the 3 steps for solving any kind of product problem. We'll be discussing about this the series. Not now. I was just giving the context and an overview, right? So that's the end of this video. And I would like to congratulate you. I think you almost spent 40 minutes time in this video already. And you have covered 10% of the course already. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll keep uploading this video on time. And since we started this, let's finish this as well. And I hope by the end of the 10th video, you will be equipped with solving product problems, especially case solving, right? So let's wrap it up right now, and congratulations for you for completing this video, and let's meet in the next video. Okay, so thanks a lot. Bye bye.